next time you go to a major airport in Canada, you may find the security lineup is moving a little faster than usual. That's because the Canadian Air Transport Security Authority has invested $12 million in a new boarding pass security screening system to provide better security around boarding passes and to better track how long it takes passengers to move through security lines at airports in Canada. Barcode scanners located at each security line are from Axis IS, and the handheld scanners are from Scion Technologies. The overall system is provided by IBM. Barcode scanners are present at the front of the security queue and at each of the security lines. Both paper and electronic boarding passes can be scanned. Passengers have their boarding passes scanned when they enter the queue using a wireless handheld device. The scan can validate the boarding pass and perform checks including date, time, airport location, and whether there are any duplicates in the system. If a passenger's gate has changed since they first obtained their boarding pass at check-in, they can be notified of the change. The passenger then waits in line and is scanned again at the front of the screening line just before X-ray. The timestamps at each screening line provide accurate throughput statistics. The data is collected and fed to a centralized dashboard to manage passenger volume. Recently, Canadian Security spoke with CATSA officials at Pearson International Airport about how the system works and what benefits it will have for passengers, airports, and the airlines.
What we're doing when we're scanning the boarding pass, we have the name, the flight number, time of departure, destination, gate if it's inscribed. So we have the same information that appears on your boarding pass.
There's two aspects of this system. There's the security aspect, which of course we're all concerned about primarily. And then there's a secondary approach, and that's data. There was an incident when we were in the initial stages in which an aircraft was diverted. The next morning, and again, we just got it on site here, the next morning, once working with our friends from the airport authority, we said, okay, how long is it going to take us if we had the person's name or, okay? We were able to find out which screening point he went through, what line he went through. We were able to get CCTV coverage, so you're actually watching the screening process of him and his carry-on baggage. And dealing that, we could also retrieve the image of his particular items that he put through the X-ray equipment. So when you're doing a threat assessment, it's a tool.
Wait time is calculated based on two scan. We call it the S1. First scan is done at the beginning of a queue. So when there's no queue, there's only one scan. The scan that is done at the line, at the screen checkpoint line. When there's people backing up, then we have a screening officer that is scanning the boarding pass of the last person entering the queue. They may take 1, 2, 3 scan, or they may go take 30 seconds each minute. They will scan the last person. So when that same person arrives at the particular lane, then it will be scanned again, and the time span is indicated. It gives an average, and we can have a report done that will give me the average wait time per hour, per 15 minutes, per day. CATSA is for the vast majority of time the first point of contact with the passenger. Our screeners are the first one to see the passenger. Before that, people would end up at the counter getting their boarding pass, checking in their luggage. Now they're coming in. They have e-boarding. They have it on their BlackBerry. They registered by web and they're coming in. So the airline does not know if that passenger is in fact at in the terminal. But by looking at the BPSS, then they would know. Is Mr. Duchamp at past security checkpoint? Yes. How long ago? 2 minutes now. You won't be here. Push back. The airlines love it. We are now looking at the transfer of information also. We have to be careful. So we have constant discussion right now with the Office of the Privacy Commissioner. So we are working with them, ensuring that our process are compliant with or are in line with their guidelines. So, And so we're very protective of this data. So it's not everybody that have access to the same type of information. Right. Each regional manager or operational manager or employee, they have levels. Like a screener cannot retrieve any information. There's the security issue. There was also the operational issues, the fact that better manage the way we deploy screeners on the field, and also have a better understanding of the type of business, because numbers of just calculate the number of passenger screen and the rest, and then the customer service. So when we saw the potential, that was the real benefit that convinced the board to grant us the money to proceed. Now we're moving towards customer also satisfaction, and more. We have the ability, I think, now to modify our process and modify also the culture within the screeners, and make sure that we are there to help the passenger to be processed.
The number of flights being held up has been drastically reduced over the last few years with little tools like this and others that the GTA have put in place. Committees that are risk threat assessment teams that are put together. And the major thing is everybody brings a certain thing to the table and contributes to make a better assessment, whereas we didn't have that before. We had it somewhat, but we're working more closer as a community.
And we're working on other files that will have major impact on the airport business itself, because it's a service. If people come here and they're annoyed by the length of the line and the time it takes and the service that they receive, the difficulty they have to park, the inability to have flights, many destinations, all this will have an effect on the level of clients that the airport will have.